Which brings us to the first review of the night, right? Brings us to the first review of the night, which is a documentary called Pariah, The Lives and Deaths of Sonny Liston. That's right. The Lives and Deaths of Sonny Liston, 2019, showing right now on Showtime, starring the following people. It's a documentary, y'all, and it's well put together. Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Willie Reddish Jr., who is a childhood friend of Sonny Liston, Helen Jean Long, which is his niece, Jerry Eisenberg, Mark Rodney, Red Rodney's son. Red Rodney's son was I guess you could say, a gangster figure out here in Las Vegas that had ties and involvement with Sonny Liston, as the documentary says. Elvis Mayo portrays Sonny Liston in the reenactments. Well done with that, right? Minister Abdul Muhammad, Raheem Muhammad, from representing the Nation of Islam. Trish Goran, she's a West Side Las Vegas historian. Martin Luther King is in it through archive footage. Malcolm X is in it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is in it through archive footage. And a young Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is in it. You get to see him as a young person, right? So here's our synopsis, right? A documentary that is told through the eyes of the people who were there, archival footage and beautifully scripted, filmed and edited reenactments of points in Sonny Liston's life, masterfully cut into a gumbo, which makes Pariah entertaining, but informational and informative, closing the gaps in time. Sometimes you need gaps closed, like you won't be able to figure out when this happened, because they don't really put dates on things, right? They don't put dates on things, or when people are talking, they don't tell you when certain things happen, right? And so this documentary puts dates to events. That's what makes it really good. What do you think about it?
I think it was a really, really good documentary. A real good historical piece, because like you said, it filled in a lot of the gaps for me. And to see, just to learn more about him, how he grew up, right? And what it was like for him as the champion, and not be given the opportunities that we see
champions
given today, right? You know, like, why wasn't he given like endorsements, you know? And why was he shunned because he wasn't the quote unquote poster boy, right? So so he was shunned basically based on a popularity contest.
Right? Pretty much.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a really good documentary. I learned a lot, you know. And then seeing Muhammad Ali, right? And that just made me think about, from watching previous Muhammad Ali documentaries on his life, right? And how he stood, you know, for something, right? And how he was given a hard time. You know, both were given a hard time. Both were champions.
Kind of like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
This is what really, really floors me, right? Is that these same people who want to quote Martin Luther King today, right? So back during that period, just like right now, the way people are doing Cube, right? Black people were treating Martin Luther King like he was a pariah. Speaking of pariah,
exactly.
Black people thought that Martin Luther King was doing the wrong thing, They thought Martin Luther King was doing the wrong thing. They thought Martin Luther King was stirring up trouble. So these are the same mind state that people had.
Mindset.
The mindset or state, right?
No, mindset. Because a mind state, you're open to all the information.
Oh yeah, they're not open to anything. They're closed-minded.
Mindset.
Okay, so the same type of people, right, who have something negative to say about Ice Cube or anybody else that's saying, okay, y'all, let's look at the facts. Let's not jump to conclusions. Okay, let's see what this candidate is bringing to the table. No, we don't care what he's bringing to the table. We hate Trump. That's the go-to. We hate Trump. Okay, so what's the issue you have with Trump? I just don't like him. Okay, so why don't you like him? He just gets on my nerve. I mean, it's just like repetitive stupidness, right? So
it's like you don't know.
You don't know, but okay.
So they have to.
What do you like about Biden? They don't know what they like. Oh, this is what they like about Biden. Oh, he was vice president for President Obama. Okay, so that's why. I mean, it's just so stupid. But anyway, so going back to Muhammad Ali and Martin Luther King, right? People gave them a hard time. So, I mean, anytime black people who are using their minds, thinking outside the box, and looking at the total complete picture with mental clarity, right? People, people are looking at them like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you a follower? Why aren't you going along with our stupidity?
Right. So Sonny Liston, right? So let's break this down.
Okay.
The cinematography, especially on the reenactments, that's a 10. Storyline, through line is a 10.
Okay.
Sound and editing, taking the archival clips and balancing up to the now 4K clips, that's a 10.
Okay.
The reenactments, that's a 10.
Yeah.
Sonny as a character, building Sonny Liston as a character within this documentary, that's a 10.
Right.
Capture of the feeling of the times.
Right.
Then,
right.
That's a 10. Las Vegas as a character, very interesting the way that they used Las Vegas and made Las Vegas a character. That's a 10.
Yeah, because I did not know that he spent as much time, and I didn't know he lived in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he lived here.
Yes.
He lived here all the way up.
Yeah,
right?
So I didn't know that. So I learned a lot. It was very informative.
Story beats. There are a lot of story beats in this, how something in the past connects to something in the future, how certain fight situations, certain story beats. It's a 10.
Yeah.
Objective versus subjective.
Yeah.
Is somewhat.
This is a new category.
Yeah, it's more objective than it is subjective.
Right.
I give it a 10.
Yeah.
So Pariah, the light. So what would you give?
I would
Pariah?
give it a 10 because, like you said, on the category, it was very objective because they gave you both point of view, like, right? So you learned about his background, right? Mm-hmm. But then you learned also whether it was an unsavory background. They put the facts on the table. They told you about that, right? And then they also told you about the positive things in his life, right? So that you did get like a balance. How he was a family man. He loved his family. We learned that. But then we also learned that he had ties to, as they say, the underworld. Right. So, but yeah, so they did give you a balance. So it was a well done. Yeah.
As objective as a documentary can be. So so Pariah, the lives and deaths of Sonny Liston, because they were in each area of his life, in each age of his life, there were lives. He had lives and he had deaths. Little notches and cuts that killed his life in every instance. So I give it a 10. It is well worth watching, right?